Hey, Sooner football fans. It's Thursday night at Louis again. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
Like we said, back at Louis for our YouTube videos. Make sure and hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure and listen to the podcast wherever you listen to, either here on YouTube or on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music. Where do you listen to your podcast at, Rob?
Well, when it comes up on my phone, I just hit play, and I don't know what it is.
You better be
But
careful.
I gotta be honest with you, when I hit play and then my phone goes back off, it stops. So then I gotta go into my podcasts and listen to it there.
Set it up. Yeah.
So it's in my podcast button or whatever.
So
I don't know what it is.
See, that's the cool thing about when you subscribe to the podcast on wherever you listen to, it gives you an alert when a new one's dropped. So it's beneficial for you to do that.
I just go on there to listen to you though.
Me, well, you know, you could just call me Rob. Before we get into our topic tonight, which we're going to talk about the coaching staff, the new coaches, Rob, do you remember when these were popular?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wanted one badly.
I think this needs to be a trend that comes back in. You know, I got this at one of those estate sales
Oh yeah.
back in the 80s. My head's a little bit fat for this one. But, you know, this was the deal.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
had a batting helmet, whether it
Yeah.
was an OU, I had a Cardinals, I think I had a Yankees. I may have had a Cleveland Indians too.
I had Orioles and I had Cincinnati Reds because I was a big Cincinnati Red fan when I was a kid because of Johnny Banjo, obviously.
Yep.
But I couldn't get down in Mangum, America. I couldn't get my hands on a lot of them. But yeah, I loved them.
No, I had a bunch of. So we need to get this started back. I looked for them. You can't find them.
Can't find them anymore.
You know, if you know where.
You went to the Googles?
I went to the Googles. You know, but if you know where to get these at, drop a line below in the comments or on Twitter or wherever. You know, these things need to be a fad. I wore these all the time to
I'd want a
baseball
Yankees
games.
one. I would want probably a Dodgers. What about Houston Astros? Probably not that one. Probably the Rangers
It
one.
would have a earmuffs and face mask.
It comes with its own buzzer. The Houston Astros comes with its own buzzer.
It's a full cage baseball mask. But our topic tonight from here at Louis on Campus Corner is the coaching staff. I forgot about one other thing, Rob.
Oh yeah.
Before we go into that, spring game. You gonna be working?
Oh yeah, for sure. April 18th. It's probably going to be a night game. I don't think they've decided.
No, they haven't said yet.
I'm almost like 90. I'm like 92.3%
Sure, it's a night game.
that it's a night game.
Yeah. As long as the weather holds out, you know, it's a spring game, you never know.
Flip a coin, dude.
It's either beautiful, it's freezing cold like it
could
was
snow.
2 years ago, or pouring down rain.
Or have tornadoes.
Or have
snow or tornadoes.
Yeah.
Snow-nado. Bless you.
But we are working, since we're here at Louis, we are talking with them, trying to get a deal set up, again, like we had last year, pre-game, post-game.
Because you're not going to put up the tailgate, right?
Meet and greet. Yeah, because it's just too iffy.
Right.
You know, I mean, we tell everybody to come to the tailgate, and then on Thursday, the great weatherman in Oklahoma would say it's going to start pouring down rain on, you know, and then I don't tailgate in the rain. I don't tailgate in the cold weather either. I'm too old. My bones hurt.
Right.
So, but we're going to work with them. The only thing is, the side that we're on now is kid-friendly, family-friendly. The only place they have for us is in the back part of the bar, in our own room, which is cool because we had a lot of fans come last year, but no one under 21 can go back there. So, other thing is JY from Trench Warfare Report is going to be here, and he's going to be hanging out with us pre and post game.
Very cool. Very
so
cool.
you'll get to meet JY as well. So we'll be doing something, but we're pretty sure it's going to be here at Louis. Now, on to the coaching staff. Lincoln Riley, 4th year coming on as head coach.
Hold up. Before we even get into that,
No.
is this the best coaching staff in the country?
Not yet. Why did I say that, you ask?
It's got to be up there.
It's getting there. I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, you look at, you know, we just got DeMarco and Jamar Cain. So That's one thing I put on here. Our coaching staff is Alex Grinch. This is his second year. We ended up ranked 38th in total D. Boy, that game dropped us, what, like 12 points?
That's okay. That's better than we thought we were going to be.
Yeah,
am I right?
true.
38?
True. Shane Beamer is the assistant head coach of offense, tight ends, and H-backs. He's in his third year. Beatonbow, which we are going to come out with shirts, figuring it out somehow. We are going to start a group of Bill Beatonbow security guards that we will make sure he doesn't go anywhere, follow him around town, sit outside his house. The Bill, what should we call it? The Bill Beatonbow Secret Service?
Sure.
Coach B's Secret Service. So we'll get into more of that, but he's on his 7th year. Kel Gundy.
Have you even heard, does Beatonbow want a full-time or a head coach job?
Yeah, and people keep saying that's going to happen eventually.
Probably, if he wants it.
Maybe. I mean, he's known to be an offensive line guru coach.
Well, normally people will take coordinators. They don't take line coaches. Mm-hmm. So I think before he leaves, he would need to step up to be a coordinator, or especially if he's going to make that step into head coach.
And maybe he just likes being
maybe
an offensive line coach. That's always a possibility. What kind of concerns me is maybe an NFL team come and grab him for an offensive line coach, pay him a little bit more money.
And we've talked about it. If somebody comes and says, "Hey, I'm gonna bump your salary $1 million," there's no question.
Yeah,
you're on. No question.
Kel Gundy is in his 21st. He came in '99, didn't he? Or was he part of the original staff?
Well, if you count his playing time,
yeah. But the Soonersports.com hasn't updated their coaches website yet, other than putting the new coaches on. So in 2000, I believe it's his 20th year, and he's coached everything on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, tight ends, receivers, running backs. Here's your food, Rob.
Nice.
You bring it over here. That's his. We'll pass it over. See, look at this good food. Dun-da-da.
There you go. Thank you.
And Rob's kitty meal. But it's crazy. Does that not make you feel old?
A little bit.
Do you know what makes you feel older? I put this out on Twitter the other day.
Adrian Peterson's 35.
Adrian Peterson is 30. How is Adrian Peterson 35 years old?
We remember when he was 18 as a freshman at OU. So
yeah, so he's 35 years old. Yeah, and Demo, this is a family show. I put out, this makes us feel old, and he replied on Twitter, "You are old."
Oh.
Demo.
Thanks, Demo.
Dennis Simmons, his fifth year. He was here with Bob, but he coached with Lincoln Riley. I believe it. I know at Texas Tech, but I think he did too at East Carolina. So he's the associate head coach, outside receivers. Calvin,
didn't he leave?
No,
I'm pretty sure he did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, he's still listed on the website. I checked it. I did this right before.
Maybe not.
Coach Thibodeau's in his 4th year as defensive line coach. Roy Manning, 2nd year at cornerbacks. Brian Odom, 2nd year at quarterbacks, and the
inside linebackers.
Inside linebackers.
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said corners.
Corners? Sorry.
That's all right.
Inside linebackers. And Benny Wiley is the energetic strength and conditioning coach, which very well spoken too, because we saw him at the coaches show.
Right.
He filled in for Coach Riley this year.
He also did push-ups with what's his name on his back? Like he wasn't even there. Just whatever.
I could do that. Should we do it? I'll jump down here. You get on my back and
yeah, let's try that. Call an ambulance.
But he's the director of sports performance. Replaced Smitty, who is a long time kind of a icon here at Oklahoma.
Kind of, yeah.
So, but he went to A&M for more money. How's that working out?
For him, great.
Yeah, great. He's making cash. So, we got 2 new coaches. Who you want to talk about first? Jamar Cain?
DeMarco.
DeMarco. Mm-hmm. We all know DeMarco. He's the reason why we lost the national championship game to Florida. Not because he did anything wrong.
Because he didn't play.
Because he didn't play. What did he break his leg or did he pull his hamstring? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
It was a leg
he didn't
injury.
break it.
It was in the Big 12 title game against Missouri.
I can't remember. Was it Achilles or something? I don't know. Whatever. He couldn't play.
Yeah, he couldn't play.
And therefore we lost the game. Mm-hmm. So you're blaming it on him?
Well, he even said if he'd have played, he would have won. He came out and said that the other day.
Yeah.
And he's right. I mean, we had 3 goal line stands that got
shut down.
Florida turned us away on 3 goal line stands. DeMarco Murray would have scored all 3 times.
Probably. Maybe
Period.
4. 4 out of 3 times.
Yeah, 4 out of 3 times. Exactly. But he's the career leader at OU in all-purpose yards, with 6,718 all-purpose yards. That's a lot.
That's a lot of yards. But he started as a freshman too, right?
Yeah. And the leader in career touchdowns with 65.
I know that.
And he's the all-time leader in kickoff return average at the University of Oklahoma.
Well, that's saying something.
27.6 yards per average. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
Well, you know what? He's not just blazing speed, but he's smart.
Yeah.
So he's a very cerebral player. So he's waiting and running and all that business. Reminds me a lot of like an Emmitt Smith type of runner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was strong.
Very strong.
Fast.
Very powerful.
He was the 2014 NFL Offensive Player of the Year. Was it not his first game that he broke the Dallas Cowboys' longest run from scrimmage?
Yep. And then broke their single season too, right?
Yeah, single season. Broke Tony Dorsett's record. So the guy could play running back.
Right.
He went to Fox, did some Fox stuff, and then he started coaching running backs at the University of Arizona, as we all know.
For Sumlin, right?
Yeah.
Sumlin.
And that was his only year of coaching. But when Lincoln Riley announced that they were looking for a running backs coach, they were going to start a search, DeMarco puts the Twitter eyes out.
Right. That's the best way to do it right there. Right? That's fantastic.
And I think the best thing about what he's going to be able to do right now is recruiting, whether it be running backs or anybody else, because every kid, we know where our strength in recruiting is in Texas. Every kid right now, 18, that's, what do you think, between 14 and 18 knows who DeMarco Murray is.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he was a fantastic professional athlete. He's a very well-spoken, very good-looking young man. Looks a lot like myself. he may be a little bit tanner than I am.
Yeah.
Just saying.
A little bit taller.
Maybe. Is he taller than I am?
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, probably is. I think he's probably 6'2".
So
just 6'1".
So maybe we can get him on sometime, and you guys sit here and have people can do a
who's better looking.
Yeah, who's better looking. So we will ask who's better looking, Big Rob or DeMarco.
I feel bad. Don't comment too roughly on him because he might leave.
But I'm really excited about it. I mean, number one, he knows the running back position.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Sure, he knows it.
He is going to be a huge asset.
Well, just think if you're a high school running back and DeMarco Murray walks into your house.
Yeah.
Especially in Texas.
Yeah.
Texas or Nevada, probably even in California.
Oh, well, and that's another big thing they were talking about is, man, that loop into Las Vegas is open now because that's where he came from.
Right.
Vegas. I wonder what it's like to grow up in Vegas. Right? Hot. Other than hot and dry. And
a lot of hookers. I'm just saying they got them there, right? Like, I don't think I've ever seen one here. Or if I did, I didn't know it was.
Yeah, right.
But I've never been to Vegas.
Right, Rob.
So I'm pretty sure you can pick them out and be like, that's one. Get away because you're nasty. Just saying. You probably could.
Okay. Hookers in Oklahoma. That should be a topic sometime.
Hookers in Oklahoma.
Coach Cain, Jamar Cain. Number one thing I like about this guy, he was hired as the outside linebackers and defensive end coach. The guy looks the part. He is one bad-looking dude.
He's a big, mean guy. You know where he played, right?
Huh. I saw, but I can't remember.
He played at...
I didn't put it on.
I forgot already.
You forgot. Good job, Rob.
I watched the thing today, too. Where did he play at, Rhett? Jamar.
Coach Cain.
Coach Cain. Oh, my God.
No, Rob,
he's going to Google it up for us.
Red will Google it up in like 2 seconds.
We played against him. I think.
But he...
no, that was in the pros.
He was the Arizona State defensive line coach. Herm Edwards.
Right.
Brought him over. in 2019. 2017 and 18, he was Fresno State's defensive line coach. Now everybody goes, Fresno State, hey, they won their conference. They only lost like 6 games during his tenure, or maybe even less than that.
Well, and it's, you know, he was young. He had to pay his dues somewhere.
Yeah, you got to move up the ladder.
So, yeah.
2014 through 2016 was the defensive line coach for North Dakota State. Now, North Dakota State, whose net coach is now at Kansas State,
Who won back to back to back to back to back.
to back,
Right.
still winning national titles.
Right.
Going, you know, he was the defensive line coach there. Here's the thought, Rob. You think they wanted him because of what Kansas State did last year to us? You know, they're North Dakota State's coach is there now.
Well, I know, but I think they wanted him because he's really good.
Yeah, he's really good.
And he's a really good recruiter. He's well spoken. If you didn't see his interview, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and
I was impressed with both of them.
Yeah, well, and Sooners put out a video today of some of the off-season drills they're doing out there. He's pretty relentless, and that's what he says. He goes, I'm going to have a relentless attitude, be detailed and as possible, and try to build a lasting relationship. The dude was out there coaching them up today, or whenever that.
I know that's what we like to see.
Yeah, that's what we like to see.
Mexico State.
New Mexico State. We didn't play New Mexico State.
Okay. No, we didn't.
So, when asking him about Oklahoma, you know, we all heard this deal that they had to go after him. They had to get him. It wasn't just a.
Yeah, he wasn't looking to go.
Yeah.
They went after him.
Yeah. I said it was an opportunity he could not pass up. When Coach Riley and Coach Grinch reached out, I thought this is a perfect fit for my family. And in the end, when you look at it, there's only one Oklahoma.
That's right.
And you can't turn it down. I love that. when somebody in the coaching ranks says you can't turn down Oklahoma, when Oklahoma comes looking at you, you go.
Well, there's no doubt. We're a big dog.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, we haven't won a national title in 20 years, we are still a big dog. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Let's end it here with Lincoln Riley for a little bit. Lincoln's, like we said, is entering in his 4th year as head coach. He's 36-6 as a head coach. We talked about it a little bit on the podcast the other day. He's probably the most successful head coach in his first 3 years without a bowl win. He's been to 3, New Year's Day bowls,
right.
semifinals. You know, it's a big deal, the games he's been in, but he hasn't been able to pull one out.
But he does have 3 Big 12 championships.
He does have 3. He has 5 actually, but
Right.
3 that he did. He has regular season losses to Iowa State, Texas, and Kansas State. Like we said on the podcast the other day, 3 games we had no business losing.
Oh, absolutely
We were
not.
double-digit favorites.
I mean, the only one I could see was Texas. That was a pretty good football team.
We were still double-digit
But
favorites.
we were double-digit favorite.
Yeah. But, here's the thing, is that everybody knows that a new coach really kind of sets his feet in his 4th and 5th year. We talked about that when he was hired or promoted. It's going to be his 4th or 5th year. He's got his
players now.
He's got his staff
He's got
in
his
place.
coaches in place. His scheme. It's all him now,
Yeah,
right?
it's all him. I think our defense has still got a ways to go. Not a little way. I don't know. What do you think? A little ways or a long ways still to go?
Defensively,
Yeah.
long ways. Still got a long ways to go.
I think it depends on how these sophomores are progressing.
Right.
Because we brought in like Marcus Hicks, a lot of big defensive ends,
Yeah.
and a lot bigger than what we have. I think it lies on guys like Marcus as to how good we're going to be.
Well, and it's a lot of it is going to be about depth for us because we know we got some good guys starting. Even those 2 JUCOs that are coming in on defensive line, they're going to play. They're going to play well. They're going to be good.
Yeah.
But what have we got behind them?
Right.
As far as our linebackers, we're going to be pretty thin, I think, there.
Yeah.
Which is sad to say, but if we have any injuries at all, man, it could collapse defensively.
And stuff on Facebook with our posts with the last couple of podcast that we put out, people are kind of, we're talking about it, and people are kind of referring back to, now Oklahoma is 1 year out from winning, possibility of winning a title, or 2 years out. It's funny because we said that after the Rose Bowl. You know what I mean? We're 1 year out. The problem is, and I can't fault him. We can't fault him too much. I don't know. Can we? It's the Mike Stoops issue. So, had he, I honestly think, you guys may agree or disagree. I think most people will agree, actually. Had he went, you know what? I don't want to. I don't want Mike as my defense. I want to go a different way immediately. I think we're talking about a different Oklahoma Sooners team right now.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say. But here's one thing we can say. Back in 1999, did you have any inkling that we would win a national title?
No.
And nobody did. If you did, then
play for 4 more. But, play for 4 more in the next 10 years.
But, I mean, we were down. The 90s were long for us.
Yeah.
We weren't that good. We got beat by Tulsa, for goodness sakes. So for us to go undefeated in that magical year and win it just tells me one thing. At any year, we could jump up. Any team could jump up and win that game.
And you got to remember that, the 2000 season, as crazy as it, as successful as it was, things like that have to happen. You remember, we had no injuries that year. Nobody was out that year. Nobody serious injuries that had a couple of guys got injured. Torrance Marshall, Josh Heupel, Rocky Calmus. If those 3 guys one of those 3 guys get injured, it's a whole different thing.
If Josh Heupel's not playing for us, we don't win it. Period. Because he wasn't the greatest athlete, we know that, but he was probably the smartest, or one of the smartest quarterbacks to ever come through here. Right.
So, and he was the perfect fit for what Mike Leach wanted to do in his first year, and that Mangino worked his magic with.
Well, it was a perfect storm of new offensive scheme that people didn't quite grip, didn't quite catch on, didn't know exactly how to defend it, and a defense that was so resilient. I don't think they were the most talented defense on the team, all the time. But they played like they had a meanness.
They played defense.
Yeah.
And that carried on for quite a while. And, I think that, again, I'm going to say it right now, I'm not worried about this offense again this year. I think we're going to put up god-awful numbers again.
I think Spencer Rattler is going to come out and prove why he was number 1.
Lincoln Riley is going to do his thing with this offense. It's going to fall back on Coach Greenson.
So many weapons. Offensively, so many weapons.
Yeah.
And an offensive line that last year was a little bit shaky, this year should be a whole lot better.
Bigger, stronger, faster, smarter. So that's the offensive line.
The offense really ought to roll well enough that if we can play defense with it, we will have a shot.
Yep.
Terry, we'll have a shot.
We will. Well, guys, again, subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to. Subscribe to our videos here on YouTube. One thing I want you to do is, as we exit out here, the music playing behind is Fever Tree, the band, out of Memphis, Tennessee. Mike, my good buddy, grew up with him, played in the band with him. He's a big Sooner fan. Actually, the band's kind of become a big Sooner, a lot of Sooner fans. But
rightfully so.
As you listen to this solo, it's off their album. Just went blank. Sorry, Mike. Lessons Learned. Their album Lessons Learned. It's the solo from Led to Believe. Yeah, Led to Believe. Man, I just kind of went blank when I'm trying to promote my buddy's stuff. But you can, after you watch this, just go up in the search box, type in Fever Tree in the search box here on YouTube. It'll bring up their album and videos. Take a listen to it. Check out Fever Tree. That's it from Louis on Campus Corner on Thursday night. Boomer up.
Boomer Terry.